initially had done. It's been about 2 years now. It should have been anyway. When I did the Journey to Hell in Blackpool, and I've done it again this year. Last year it was cancelled due to coronavirus, unfortunately, but it was back again this year. So just like last time, I'm going to start with spoiler-free sort of overview of the event, and then either tomorrow or later on I'll put out a spoiler review going into a bit more depth about the event and what to expect and what happens. If you've not already done it, then I'd advise watching this one first. If you're not bothered about spoilers, then I'll come out with that second one anyway. So, minimal spoilers as possible. Journey to Hell 2, the second one. Is it worth doing? Yeah. If you didn't enjoy the last one, you'll have more chance of enjoying this one. They've definitely improved in areas that were critiqued, and kept a lot of what was good from the last one in this one. So from the last time, I was very critical of the waiting around from going to event to event, and this time there was absolutely none of that. Straight away got there. It was a little bit confusing where to go at first. On the confirmation email it said head to the casino building, which we did. There was no one there waiting, so I had no idea what to do. So we went round to the park entrance where there was people there waiting, and you just queued outside, and when my time slot hit, I was in straight like that into the event. And from there on, it was one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. It was very free flowing. There was no waiting around for individual parts. So definitely massive improvements for them. They've taken that on board. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that during the event you get to go on 4 rides. You get to go on 4 throughout the park. I'll go into more of that in the spoiler one, because I think that's where the spoilers come in. I'm sure if you look around you'll be able to see the rumours of what rides there were. Going in, I expected Icon again, since they did that last time. And when you look at the promotional pictures, it says Cursed Legend of the River Caves. So River Caves. It says Day of the Dead Ghost Train, so you're expecting the Ghost Train. It was the 4th one going in I wasn't too sure on, but I'd heard the rumours and had an idea of what it would be. I'll keep it out of this one just in case you don't know what that 4th one is. What they did with the rides, particularly Icon, the River Caves, and the 4th one were good. It was good. Could they have done better? Yeah, I think so. I think after another year or so of this event maturing, it's going to be top class if they keep looking at these reviews and keep improving themselves. It's going to be world class. For what the price is this time, is it worth it? Yeah, but it's a bit steep for what you're expecting. I think we were in there for about an hour and a half-ish, which, yeah, is a decent length of experience, particularly with the improvements they've made, and it's one after another after another. Again, keeping it spoiler-free. The flow was nice for the first half an hour. First one, second one, all these different scare events as such. There's a couple of scare mazes, more sort of an experience though, which is its unique selling point. Unlike your Scarefest, unlike your Thought Park, Fright Nights, it's one event. It free flows from one to the next, to the next, to the next. It's not individual scare mazes scattered around the park. It's quite unique in that it's an event. If you've ever been to Scare Kingdom in Blackpool, like that, it just sort of flows as an event. But obviously, because it's a theme park with the rides, it's very unique in that aspect. So as I was saying before I got sidetracked, the first half an hour was very free flowing, and it flowed really nice, had this nice flow where it sort of went from one to the next, and it all sort of blended. And it was about after the Icon, after you'd gone on Icon with the blindfold, exactly the same as last year, that it sort of lost its way a bit, and it kind of got a little bit convoluted from there on out. There was things they didn't know what to do with, but they wanted to have them in there. They didn't quite do the transitions as well. It just sort of felt like you were going from one to the next to the next. It sort of felt more like, you know, your Alton Towers Scarefest as such, where you've got one thing, and then if you want to go and do the next, go and do the next. And there was no real flow. It sort of lost the experience side of things after Icon. Hopefully, if you've been, you can drop a comment to see if you sort of felt the same thing as I did. After Icon, the flow just wasn't there. The individual experiences were good, don't get me wrong, they were good, but that flow of the whole experience sort of lost its way. And I don't suppose it's a spoiler to say, at the end of it all, the very first time they got Passage of Terror involved in the experience, which was an absolute highlight. Passage of Terror never fails to impress. But obviously something's happened with the negative reviews and whatnot that they decided to drop them for this one, which is a bit of a shame. To me, it makes sense to keep them on board if that was what some of the good reviews were coming out as. You want to kind of keep the best things from the previous one in this one. But for one reason or another, I don't know the ins and outs of it, they decided to drop the Passage of Terror. I wasn't particularly disappointed because the overall experience still had a good length to it. They still had a bar at the end which was inside of the park instead of at the end of Passage of Terror. But yeah, after the experience I decided to pay my extra to go in Passage of Terror to keep that from the first time, because I enjoyed it. But for whatever reason, if you're going in there expecting it, it's not a part of it this time. If you want to go in, you'll have to pay the extra that Passage of Terror charge. Which, yeah, again, Passage of Terror, it's the same every time. It's not. They've changed bits, obviously, but when I say it's the same every time, I mean it still impresses. I still enjoy it every single time I go in. But yeah, that there, spoiler free. Hopefully you got a good idea of it. Hopefully I persuaded you to either try it out or not, depending where your head was sitting before this video. So yeah, stay tuned. Spoiler one coming up, where I go into a lot more depth on the individual parts of the experience and my overall feelings. As a spoiler free sort of rating, overall better than last year. So if I said last year, the year before, so if I said the previous one was about a 6 out of 10, it's going up by our rating to something like a 7 out of 10. Definitely interested to see where they take this in the future, because as I say, couple years of maturing. If they take this advice on board from your critics and your reviewers, and not them, just the general audience, you know, I'm not a critic or a reviewer, I'm a general audience. If they sort of take this advice off the people that are interested in going, then without a doubt, 3 years time, absolute world-class event on the cards. I've no doubt of that in my mind at all. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, more than happy to reply to them and talk to you, see what your thoughts were. Thank you for watching.